I gotta turn my light on and get a drink.
Okay. And then we'll go with our lengthy hour and 15-minute, hour and 20-minute, hour and a half episode. I've got a couple electronics projects I'm going to be working on.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to take Val's old Dell laptop and turn it into a retro game console.
Really?
There's a program called Lakka, Lakka, and you load it up and it boots up into the menus, and you load it up with emulators, and then your legally backed up copies of your games.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be my retro game console.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then my old Dell computer, I put my GT 530 in there from when I bought my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I put that in there. I'm gonna put Windows 7 on there and make that my Steam in-home streaming machine, and hook it up to the upstairs TV. As long as it streams or is capable of producing 1080p video, you can stream full video or full games from. I'll stream it from down here onto the TV upstairs.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to have to tinker with it, but I got to reload Windows 7 on it. I was going to do it with the Linux version of Steam, but I just couldn't get it working on that. I don't know if it doesn't meet minimum specs or something.
Yeah.
But it's annoying.
Technology's a pain.
I don't mind tinkering with it. It's just lately I haven't had the time to mess with it,
So deal with it.
All right, let me just get my my YouTube video going here. Whoopsie.
The old YouTubes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna make such a mess. All right. Remove window.
Let's hope my laptop doesn't decide to overheat again and shut off.
Damn it, Dan.
I know. I don't want to turn the fan on because it's annoying.
Put it in the freaking fan. I will quit.
Do you want me to turn the fan on? Just to be safe?
I don't know. Does it have good airflow? You know what you do? You take the vacuum cleaner to it.
I should.
Suck out the dust. Once I did that to my laptop, it has not overheated since.
Your laptop's a champion.
It is. It owes me nothing.
Can you really hear that?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, good. I'll just leave
So
it
it
like
is
that
the
then.
Fallout 4 Pip-Boy.
Rather than chance it overheating. Because if it overheats and shuts off, I'm probably going to throw it out into the street.
Dan.
That's how frustrated I am with the... I mean,
Don't
that really
do
doesn't...
that.
It doesn't... like yours, it doesn't really owe me anything. I used to play Star Wars The Old Republic on it at like... my graphics card was probably screaming.
Oh, yeah? I played it on mine. I know the drill.
It ran at like 12 or 15 frames per second, but I was so desperate to play that game that I didn't care.
Actually, how short do we need to keep this, Dan?
I would like to keep it fairly short. I would like to be at or around or earlier than an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, why?
Just curious.
Oh.
I just feel like with the Destiny stuff. Is somebody going to talk about that other than me?
Nope.
Well, we have that for Nibble Bits.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about stuff, but our main segment should be really short. So.
Yeah, the non-existent.
Hooray. Yes. All right, well, let's get started then, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody. Episode 205 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
I'm Corey.
Corey. No Eric this week, and I don't think next week either. Eric's out of town.
What?
This week for sure, and I'm pretty sure he said he's not going to be here next week also. So, if you're looking for our Arkham Knight episode, it'll be when Eric comes back. So, not next week, but the week after, we'll do our Arkham Knight episode at that point.
Although you've played it, Dan, no?
I have played it. Yeah, I was going to talk about that in teasers. Eric was kind enough to let me borrow his PS4 to play Arkham Knight, which was awesome of him. I was actually going to buy the PC version because it was on sale on Green Man Gaming for $36, and boy, am I glad I didn't.
Oh.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, but
Yeah.
really
Oh. Yeah.
So money is tight as it is, and if I bought a game that didn't work for me, I would have been livid. So there's that. Other teasers. I'll talk a little bit more about The Witcher 3. I played Paper Mario Sticker Star, and I played Invisible Ink. So I'll be talking about those later during what we played. What about you? What do you got, Corey?
Been playing more Axiom Verge and Massive Chalice, but I also tried Techno Babylon, the point-and-click cyberpunk adventure game. And I also tried the new Hearthstone game mode Tavern Brawl.
Nice.
Which was fun.
Okay. Will, what about you?
I've been playing a lot of the new Smash DLC.
Mm-hmm.
That's about
new characters.
Yeah, that's about it though.
There's new Smash characters?
Yeah, Roy, Lucas, and Ryu.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and the Miiverse stage, which is hilarious.
In what way?
Basically, they post messages from the Miiverse that people put up there. And one of them is Dr. Mario cupping somebody's nuts saying cough.
Giving him a physical.
Yeah.
That was the favorite one. That was my favorite that I saw.
Yeah,
floating around the interwebs.
There's a lot of really funny things that... One was Toon Link running with a sword, but it was a wiener.
Nice.
So, that's some good stuff.
And Nintendo has to know that sort of stuff is going to come through.
Why they thought that was a good idea is beyond me.
What was their filtration process? They talked a little bit about it when the Wii U came out. Isn't it like robotic and then like the final layer is one person reviewing everything that goes up?
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something like that.
He's not doing his job.
You're right. They did talk about it when the Wii U was going to launch, but I don't know the details, the specifics of it.
I'm like 95% sure they said there was a human element in that whole process, but like Bill said, they're not doing their job very well.
I wouldn't mind that job, seeing what sort of things people got through the robotic filters. That would be kind of fun.
And not only that, it would be so much fun, like deciding what crosses the line and what doesn't.
Yeah. I would like to have that kind of authority.
And like having to justify it to your boss when the hammer comes down.
Yeah.
My child saw Dr. Mario cupping balls. Well, doctors are good public figures.
Does the picture of Sonic doing a thumbs up saying Sonic did 9/11, does that cross the line too?
I think that crosses the line.
How do you justify that one?
You can't.
So this week's episode we were supposed to have input from our E3 correspondent, but I don't think he's gotten back to you yet, right, Corey?
He is AWOL. He told me yesterday we were ideally going to have him on to talk about E3 because he was on the show floor like last year, but he couldn't do it tonight when we were going to record, so he said he'd write up his thoughts, and I kept reminding him all day today and haven't heard from him, so he's probably going to pull the old, just seeing this now, sorry man, got tied up in a meeting, one of those, which is fine.
So we'll report those when we do get them. But we're just going to give our ultimate thoughts on, because a few things happened like after we did our episode. I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff I saw on Nintendo Treehouse, because I pretty much just put that on all day when they do the Nintendo Treehouse stuff during E3.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is really really well done. I just love that they do that, first of all, but they also show a lot of stuff that they didn't put during their press conference. They put up Fatal Frame, which I watched some gameplay of. They put up some Fire Emblem Fates, which I think they briefly mentioned during their E3 press conference, or their E3 Nintendo Direct.
They showed off another trailer of it.
They put up Bravely Second. There's a little bit of that in there, which was cool. I really like that they do that. And not only, it's not just like a trailer or a brief gameplay thing. It's like, it's a couple of the Nintendo people sitting down with the developers of the games, playing the game for 45 minutes or half an hour or however long it is. So a lot of the games I saw during the E3 Nintendo Direct 2, which I thought seemed stupid when they went and played the game, specifically the that Yokai watch or whatever, that seemed a lot better
Yeah.
than on the little Nintendo Direct.
Was that the fashion show one?
No, that's Shin Megami Tensei
Cross Fire
Cross.
Emblem.
I don't know what. I still am confused by that. I don't know. They might have had that on during the thing, but I don't know what was going on with that. But
Dan, how dare you? There are people that are very excited for that game.
I know they are, and once I figure out like what exactly it is, I'd probably be excited for it too.
It's one of those things that we could look up, but the mystery is so much more fun.
Oh yeah, it's funny to think about it at night when you're trying to go to bed. Like, what exactly is that?
Like Will said, it's a fashion show game.
It's what it looked like to me. I don't know if that was just a gameplay element or something. Who knows? But yeah. So first, we'll talk quickly about Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame looks awesome. They really use the gamepad well too, because it's a game about taking pictures of ghosts, and that's how you essentially fight the ghosts. So, when they were doing the gameplay trailer, it really utilized the gamepad well, much like Zombie U. For those that have played, I still have Will's copy of Zombie U that I haven't played, but
mine hasn't even come out of the wrapper yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to it probably this summer.
Don't worry, it's coming to Xbone and PS4.
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out on the new gen system. So.
All right.
But yeah, it uses the gamepad really well for lining up photos and stuff. I think it's a brilliant use of the gamepad, and it looks scary. I remember those games being terrifying when we were younger in the PS2 days in Jared's basement. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, is it the type of thing where your gamepad is your camera and you can move it in any direction 360 degrees and look around with it?
I don't think it's 360 degrees. I think it's just for lining up pictures of ghosts on the screen.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you look on the gamepad. I don't know. I didn't see that if they did that or not, because the woman that was playing it was stationary, and lifting her gamepad up to the television and snapping the photos that way. So I'm sure you can snap around and stuff when you're doing it, but that there's a rumors that's going to be eShop only too. So.
Oh, really?
That was one of my nibble bits for this week, which is a problem if you don't have a lot of space on your Wii U.
No, you need a hard drive for that thing.
Yeah.
Is the Wii U hard drive friendly? I mean, is it easy to swap in and out hard drives?
Yeah, it's really
just
easy.
External.
You just plug in.
It's not like proprietary or anything like that?
No. Any pluggable USB external drive will work. If you have one that doesn't use external power, you need the Y cable to plug it in to two USB ports. So,
Dan, I got the Fatal Frame trailer on in the live stream at twitch.tv/thumbstickathletes. And it reminds me, somebody, I don't know if it was a tweet or a Reddit post or something, but somebody was talking about the HoloLens and the augmented reality stuff, and they doctored up a picture of like just a regular apartment, but with like a disheveled ghost lady like standing in the corner, and they're like, "This is why I'm afraid of what's going to happen with HoloLens."
Yeah, because there's going to be developers that put that stuff in there just to scare people.
Oh, it's going to be
awesome. Which I love. I love that. They're going to troll you with something scary or something. That's a good type of thing to have jump scares with.
Oh yeah,
it's actually going to jump into your face.
Yeah, so. Actually, sorry, go ahead.
It'll ruin my life if I do that.
You just got to know what you're getting into. Once those things are on, anything's game. But that's my my big takeaway from the E3 thing. Now that we've had time for everything to marinate, and you kind of hear all the reports coming out of there, and what people liked, what they didn't like, I'm very excited, even more so for virtual reality and augmented reality.
Yeah.
And speaking of the HoloLens, a lot of people were talking about the sort of Halo-influenced HoloLens thing they had. And I actually tweeted, somebody was wearing the HoloLens headset, and they were following Halo waypoints through the office building that they were in.
That's
like awesome. They could see the Halo waypoints, and the person's like, it was like kind of a mock, like, oh, the what are the bad guys called in Halo?
Covenant.
The Covenant is attacking or something. We need to do this, this, and this. And they like pointed them down the hall, and the people wearing the HoloLens could see the waypoint, and they went down to the waypoint. And once they got there, they got the little beep, and it told them what to do next. But they said like they would walk past windows that were just looking out into, I'm not sure if it was just like a parking lot or something, but with the HoloLens on, when they looked out the windows, they saw all the Spartan vehicles and Marines and stuff getting ready. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think that, to me, that's more interesting than anything VR has at this point.
Yeah.
The augmented reality stuff. It's very, very cool.
It is. I think it's easier to develop, and maybe that's not the right word, but I just feel like you're right. It's more, there's more interesting possibilities for that than there is for VR.
Yeah.
You know, VR can be very immersive, but I feel like the augmented reality stuff with the HoloLens can be way more creative.
Yeah, because you can just be walking down the street in your city and just have all these cool things pop up. Like your own, it's your own heads-up display basically, like in a Halo or Iron Man. I think of when I think of the heads-up display. All the statistics and stuff going by on your screen. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and Riz just mentioned in the chat the Google Cardboard and Leap Motion controllers. The Google Cardboard is a really inexpensive. I'm not sure how much it is. I want to say it's like $50 maybe, but it's just a very simple form of augmented reality. And you just use your cell phone and put it into this thing that you wear on your face.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah.
And that's your augmented reality screen.
Samsung has their Gear VR thing that could probably work for, because it uses the camera on your cell phone to be able to look through.
Yeah.
So that would probably work too. That's it's its own VR headset thing, but that could probably work for that, I would think.
Sure. I remember years ago, probably when I first got my iPhone, there was an augmented reality soccer game. It wasn't really a soccer game, but you would point the phone down at your feet and you'd see your feet, but between them was a soccer ball, and you could kick it around and watch the ball move on your screen, depending on where you kicked it. I mean, that was years ago, but even back then that was cool, and we've come a long way since.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was a plethora of VR stuff, and I just want it to come out already.
Yeah.
Talking about it, I want to experience it.
People were talking about the kitchen demo with when they get stabbed in the face with the knife. Yeah, it's just all that stuff sounds so cool to me, and I can't wait to have my Oculus Rift.
Yeah, play some Eve Valkyrie.
Yeah,
everyone seems to think that that's the best game for VR right now is Eve Valkyrie.
Yeah, I want to start seeing full game, like real games. I know, but like, I don't know, more of
Storm.
What?
Like Heroes of the Storm.
Just like fully fledged games. I mean, and you're right. I don't know that much about Valkyrie, but that seems more to me just like a good example of the tech. It doesn't feel like a fully formed AAA game that we're used to. No,
I think it is it's a space combat piloting game.
Right, but I don't know. Like, what I want in virtual reality is a game that I would pay to play on like my computer. You know what I'm saying? Like a full. Yeah. I don't know how in depth this game is, but
yeah, and a lot of people said it leans heavily towards the piloting, like mechs.
Yeah,
driving games it makes complete sense for it because you're sitting there, like you would be sitting in a mech or sitting in a pilot seat or sitting in a car seat. Just controlling that way makes more sense.
Yes, sir.
So.
But that was my big takeaway from the whole E3 thing.
Yeah.
Will, did you have anything?
No, like listening to other people talk about the VR and stuff like that, like it sounds very promising and cool. And as much as I'm not into virtual reality, I think it was definitely the most important thing that was shown at E3. That and the HoloLens. I think it was all just really cool stuff. So yeah, my takeaway was the same as yours. As much as I'm not into it as much as you, I definitely think it was like, it's the future.
The future's now.
Yeah.
One of the developers, I don't remember who it was, someone that worked on the Deus Ex games said he thinks that VR is going to ultimately be kind of a fad.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's going to fade fairly quickly.
I think that's BS.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I don't know. All the reports point to. I mean, I don't really see how that could be because there's just so many I don't know.
Yeah, what excites me about it is not just the games that are going to be coming out for it, but the modders that make games you already have work with VR.
Yeah.
Old racing games that you love that they're going to put you in the car seat and have you actually driving those, and old piloting games, stuff like that. I think it's gonna be cool. There's people already working on a Skyrim mod for VR, so
Of course.
Sure.
I think stuff like that's gonna be.
And it's not even just gaming though, Like
Yeah.
I don't. The possibilities for VR extend well beyond like what you can do in video games, and that's why I think, regardless of what it does for gaming, it's going to do so much for so many other industries that it doesn't even matter. Like virtual tours,
Yeah.
of places you could never afford to visit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be HoloLens more so, but I think it's going to be important for home manufacturing, for designing things. And with 3D printing, you can pretty much make anything you want out of plastic. I think it's going to have huge ramifications for home manufacturing for whatever,
Yeah.
I always use the example of like prosthetics. You can tailor make your own home prosthetics with with VR or AR and your 3D printer,
And you can teach yourself how to do it with virtual reality.
Exactly.
You can install your prosthetic limb. You could do it all.
Yeah. Which I think is cool. But that's not really gaming related, but that's where I see the future of VR and AR is in home manufacturing. I think that's going to be the next big like tech revolution.
Yeah.
I wish I could afford a 3D printer because I would have one, no doubt.
Oh yeah. How much do they run?
They're not. I mean, they range from like $300. You could get a cheapo one to thousands.
Oh gosh.
The material is probably more expensive than ink, though, huh?
I don't know. It you know what it looks like? From what I've seen, it looks like string trimmer wire. It just feeds into the machine and it makes whatever you want out of plastic. It's just like a thin string of plastic.
So that's where the last bit of string trimmer wire goes.
Yeah, or almost like hot glue, kind of that sort of thing, which I thought was neat. All sorts of colors, anything.
You know what I want to do for E3 just quickly?
What's that?
Talk about the big games that came out and just a quick yay or nay, or like wait and see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well. Okay.
I'm trying to find I should have had this ready. I looked at one earlier. Just a good list of all the big games
To give people an idea of what we're going to be covering later on in the year, too.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
No. It would have to get like perfect 10s, I think, for me to buy into it.
Yeah, that's a wait and see for me.
Yeah, I would have to know that the control scheme is much better.
Battleborn.
That's gonna be free to play, right? I'll probably play it.
No, it's the Gearbox sort of game.
Yeah, I think that one's
to
free
be
to play.
Is it free to play?
I think it'll be free to play. If it's free to play, I'll try it, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in that one. I'm wait. Is that supposed to come out this year still?
I have no idea.
I think the beta is just coming out like later this year,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
COD Blops 3.
No, nay.
I'll play Will's copy
I'm not buying
for the
it.
campaign.
Eric's gonna buy it.
Yeah, Eric's gonna be the one to buy it.
Dark Souls 3, we didn't really have enough to go on there. Cuphead.
That'll come out next year. Cuphead is a yes,
Yeah.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
definitely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a yeah for me. Destiny expansion. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
It's a definite yeah already?
Yeah, I think so. I like the first one enough to think the second one's going to be a lot better.
It's a wait and see for me. The Division.
No. I'm going to say no for now.
Yeah,
That's going to need to convince me too. Anything from Ubisoft, I need convincing.
Yep, wait and see. Doom.
I probably not right away.
Yeah, same here.
Eventually.
I don't know. There's something about that demo that I really liked.
I did too. It just for me generally shooters. I need story. Like story, like Metro story or BioShock story
or Wolfenstein.
Yeah, yeah.
Fable Legends. Was Fable Legends at E3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free to play. I'll play it definitely.
Oh, that's gonna be free to play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Free to play, cross-platform multiplayer for PC and Xbox One.
Microtransactions?
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Fallout 4. I think I know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm really interested.
Will, are you gonna get it for PS4 or wait for it to come out on PC eventually?
Probably PS4 because it'll be out first on PS4, and I'm really interested to see what happens with this.
You're gonna let me borrow your PS4, right?
Definitely.
I don't think that's coming out for like 2 or 3 years.
They just started it.
They just started working on it.
That's a 2017 probably. Fire Emblem Fates.
Oh my god, yeah.
Definitely.
Heck yeah. Gears 4.
If it comes out on PC, which I think it's going to, but I'll play it.
It's a big no for me.
Yeah, same here. I don't know.
I've always liked Gears.
Gears and beers. That's the only way I'll play Gears of War.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up getting it and really liking it, but right now I'm kind of like meh on it.
Halo 5.
If it comes out on PC,
I'll
buy it.
I don't want it, but I'm gonna get it.
That would be nice for it to come out on PC, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Horizon.
If I had a PS4, I would definitely buy that game.
Yep.
That looked awesome.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for that one. Kingdom Hearts 3. Meh.
Really?
I don't know. Nothing really shocked me about that.
If it comes out on PC, once again,
I've never played a Kingdom Hearts, so I want to play it.
I always like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I like the crossover between like Square Enix stuff and Disney stuff, even though I'm not a huge fan of Disney things. But I was surprised they didn't put Star Wars in there. Maybe for the next Kingdom Hearts they'll do Star Wars.
Oh, it's not too late, I don't think.
I think they only. Well, I guess they could still do it, but they only revealed that was it Tangled was going to be the new world in there.
Oh, great.
I mean, so if they put Star Wars in there, that'd be awesome.
Why not Frozen?
I don't know. Frozen would be perfect. I think Big Hero 6 would be awesome.
Yeah.
That movie too.
Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
I'll probably get that.
Well,
I don't know. Nintendo underwhelmed me so much that I don't know.
Their E3 digital event has soured you on their games.
I mean, I'm still gonna get Star Fox and Mario Tennis. But
Oh, you're gonna get Star Fox? Speaking of underwhelming,
I'm getting Star Fox.
yeah, why wouldn't I get Star Fox?
you guys are crazy.
Why?
Didn't look that bad.
I think it did.
I think it looked good.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Treehouse stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it looked a lot better on there than it did during the.
I don't know. I still wasn't that impressed with it. Metal Gear 5. Yes.
No.
What?
Maybe.
Oh, you guys. Metroid Prime?
Metroid.
Prime Federation?
Sorry.
No. No, but that was one of the things I saw in Treehouse that they showed that looked a lot better in the Treehouse than it did on the.
I don't know, Dan.
Not the multiplayer part, but not the multiplayer game part, the battle ball or whatever it was, but the actual game looked decent to me.
Nintendo said they know what they're doing with Metroid.
I don't know. Like, I'm not as angry as most people are. I didn't sign the petition or anything. But that's not the kind of game I'd sit and play on a 3DS.
No, me neither.
With
But again,
people.
that was one I scoffed at the Direct, and then when I watched it being played, like I was like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah. I'd probably rather play Blast Ball.
Blast Ball.
Yeah.
You know what? The new Metroid game will probably be a Nintendo NX launch title.
They said they know what they're doing, so maybe.
Of course they don't. No Man's Sky.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be a day one. Can't wait.
Are you getting it on Steam, Dan?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.
Corey's in now.
I already have a plan of what I'm going to do in No Man's Sky for when I can finally get my grubby paws on it.
What are you going to do?
I'm just going to explore the Outer Rim. I'm not going to make my way towards the center.
What if you don't start in the outer rim?
Then I'll make my way towards the outer rim.
I like it.
Yeah. Because everyone's going to be heading for the middle to meet other people, but I don't want to do that. I want to, I want to explore a large chunk of the galaxy, upgrade my stuff, and then maybe eventually, if I'm still playing it, I'll make my way towards the center.
This might be a game that I play once. That'll be it.
Could be.
That's how I feel about it. Like, I think I'll play it and it'll be cool, but then I'll just have really nothing pulling me back into it, you know?
Yeah.
I listened to Danny O'Dwyer from GameSpot, who actually got to play it. He said it was reminiscent of Minecraft.
Yeah.
The difference is, like, in Minecraft, like, really it's pointless to play it unless you're gonna actually like build something. Whereas this game No Man's Sky has it's more focused. There's more things that you need to do without needing to be creative and building things.
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about how you can land on a planet and there will be like an abandoned ship there that's way better than your ship, but there's some things wrong with it that you need to go out and get the resources to make better so you can use it for yourself.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff's exciting to me. Like, discovery is a huge thing for me, and being rewarded for taking the time to explore is a big thing too.
Yeah.
But
he said. Go ahead.
Nope. Go.
He said they that he felt like there was a narrative too, but he hadn't gotten to that point yet. And obviously, Hello Games hasn't said anything about the narrative because I think they want people to figure it out for themselves. So
maybe I lied,
which we kind of talked about.
I'll probably play this more than once.
I'll definitely
twice
at most.
I'm definitely gonna play it a lot. Even if there's no more systems in it than the stuff they already talked about, I think that's probably gonna be enough for me to play it for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
You crazy?
Why? What? I've always, that's like a dream of mine, to be a solitary planetary explorer and just pop from one planet to the next, see what's there.
All right. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
When it finally comes out on PC.
Yes, but not on the day Fallout 4 comes out.
You can get it for the 360.
I don't have a 360. I wouldn't play it on 360 anyway.
No, you crazy?
Not something like that.
Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Did look cool.
But apparently they did not have the game at E3. They just had that little demo that they showed at the press conference.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably still early.
Yeah.
At least it looks like Rare's working on something interesting.
Shenmue 3 is probably a wait and see for all of us, yeah?
I'll probably play it. Who am I kidding? Once it finally comes out. I got the impression that one's not coming out for a while either.
Same time Final Fantasy 7.
Probably. Late 2017.
South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Can't wait for that.
Excuse me, The Fractured Butthole.
Yeah. Like on Dark Souls.
Yeah. Oh. Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep.
Yes, though I'm starting to get a little concerned about Star Wars Battlefront.
You're starting to get concerned?
Yeah, everyone seems says it's super shallow.
Oh yeah, it'd definitely be shallow.
Well, if you think about it, the first Battlefront games were kind of shallow.
Yeah, but fans of the series are saying it's even more shallow than those.
I think they're looking at those games with nostalgia-tinted glasses.
Maybe.
I was just going to say how much nostalgia is playing into the fact that people aren't liking the new one.
Well, one of the things I didn't like about it that I heard was that, you know how in the old games, like, you could go to where the ships spawn and stuff? Well, this one, like, there's like it almost seemed like you fill up a timer or something, and that's when you have access to a ship. Like, they're not just, like, sprinkled out throughout the map. It's something that'll pop up that, like, oh, it's your turn to use a X-wing or whatever.
Oh, God.
Well, that's the Battlefront, or not Battlefront.
Battlefield.
The Battlefield games, right?
Well,
no, they have stuff sprinkled all over the map. I think you can spawn things too, right?
They have stuff in your bases and stuff like that, and that
it spawns on a timer though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Are you talking about like, hey, it's your turn to now get X-wing and everybody gets one during a match? Or
They said something about getting coins. Like if you get a handful of coins, then you'd be able to maybe from kills or something. Then you would get to finally summon. Which, however it was explained, I didn't really care for that. I would much rather have them be sprinkled out throughout the map.
Because in Battlefield, they'll all be in like your spawn, and then like you take what's there, and then there's more that spawn once
eventually
they get destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it would make more sense. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I specifically remember the Battlefront games being relatively shallow, but that's not what made them so great. What made them so great was it was big, beautiful Star Wars battles.
Yeah.
And that's all. I mean, that demo got me for that very reason, is you were running around in Star Wars places as Star Wars people doing Star Wars things.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be Destiny. That's
Destiny
not
shallow.
In different ways, yeah.
Right.
Fair enough. Mario Maker is a big yes for me. That might be the only game I buy this year.
That's a yes for me too.
I think I'm gonna pass on it.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not creative enough to mess around with it.
Okay.
That was another one. Once again, watching the Nintendo Treehouse, some of the awesome stuff that people made. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be, and it's very intuitive too, from what I understand. So
yeah, definitely. Like even searching for levels that other people have made and uploaded, like so cool. Yeah. And one of the cool things about it too is, in order for you to upload a level to whatever the place you get, I don't know, it probably has a name, but you have to beat the level before you can upload it. So there's not going to be any impossible levels. There's going to be that are really hard to beat, but you have to beat it before you can upload it, which I think is fair.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So. Last Guardian. I don't know. There wasn't enough to go on, I don't think.
I would have been interested in that if I had, again, had a PS4.
Well, for a game that's been in development forever, and granted it's switched hands multiple times, it was very underwhelming.
Well, I don't know how much is in the game. Just because what they showed, it doesn't encapsulate the entire game.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting until there's more on it.
I mean, I guess, how do you live up to the hype of 5 years of,
you don't.
Unknown? Like, you really can't. So maybe I'm being a little unfair, but I don't know. Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes.
No.
Nah,
me too. Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
That's a maybe for me at this point. I haven't quite decided. Because the thing is, like, they're trying to decide if we're going to get it for PC or if Will and Eric are going to get it for PS4. I don't know that I want to be the deciding factor for that,
No, they're all going to get it on PC.
Yeah.
Are you getting it on PC definitely too, Corey? That's the thing.
You
like,
can't share it. So.
You either have to get it or not get it, And I don't want Will and Eric to get on PC and for us to not ever play it together, Because I know they will probably play it on PS4.
That's what's going to happen.
Like, what's our track record for
not very good
games that played together online? Pretty much begins and ends with Heroes of the Storm.
Right, and not very good. And like I said, it's a maybe for me at this point. If it's seeming like you're not going to buy it, Corey, then I probably just won't get it and let Eric and Will get it for PS4. So,
Uncharted 4, big fat no for me. I'm not a hater. That's not my kind of video game.
Yeah,
never has been, never will be.
If I saw my PS4, I would get it, probably.
Yeah, I mean it's PS4.
Just because it's the series on PlayStation, so that's probably I'd probably borrow Eric's. That's probably what would end up happening. So,
XCOM 2, Shut Up and Take My Money.
Yep.
Xenoblade Chronicles X is now a wait and see for me after some not so great reviews.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna get that. It looks interesting enough to me from what I saw on the Nintendo Treehouse. It's still going to be a buy.
Maybe I'll borrow it from you, Dan.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Yoshi's Woolly World.
That's a buy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just a blanket buy.
Yeah, It's a co-op game for me and the wife to play.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, I have different
Parameters.
different parameters for buying games. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good reason right there.
Skylanders Supercharged. That's going to be a buy for me. That comes out in September.
Yeah, for me, like a game like Yoshi's Woolly World is something I'm sure I would have a good time playing, but it's something that to spend $60 on.
It's not going to be 60. I think it's going to be 40.
Well, 40, whatever. I don't know. I'd rather just borrow it from somebody and play through it and call it good. Kind of like what I did with Super Mario 3D World, Will.
Yeah.
But it's so cute, Corey.
Yeah. I don't know. Those games, a game has to have a lot of like depth for me to want to spend money on it and keep playing it.
Yeah. Well, again, too, I have a co-op partner to play these games with.
That you do.
Would you be more likely to buy something like that if you had someone to play it with?
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah. So.
Corey, we can play together.
Yeah.
Like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right. Any other final thoughts for E3? Put it to bed.
Yeah. Oh wait, what about Madden NFL 16, guys?
Yeah. Not interested. Will Madden?
Oh, God, no.
No.
We didn't even talk about any of the indies or anything.
I'll probably end up buying it, though, like an idiot.
The Witness, not at E3?
I don't know what's going on with The Witness.
Is this even a game anymore?
Yeah.
Apparently it's just about ready to go, but you'd think there would be something at E3, but apparently not.
Well, you know John Blow. He's...
You know what he's doing is he's lowering the bar.
Think?
He's, getting the hype out of the way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because he's smart.
He is smart. All right, let's move on to Nibblebits, shall we?
Yeah!
Corey, why don't you get started with Nibblebits?
Apple pulled a number of games from its App Store today that featured the Confederate flag. This included a number of strategy Civil War games, one of them being Civil War 1862, and the note that one of the developers received from Apple read the following: "We are writing to notify you that your app has been removed from the App Store because it includes images of the Confederate flag used in offensive and mean-spirited ways."
Oh, my God.
So just not too long ago, a few hours ago, Apple confirmed that it was banning games that featured the Confederate flag in offensive ways and denied a blanket ban. But, that's obviously not the case because these historical video games that are based in the Civil War are getting banned. So, but did you guys see on Kotaku Evan Narcisse posted a link to a game, a browser-based game where you boo at the Confederate flag through your microphone, and as you boo, it goes down the flagpole until it eventually catches on fire.
That's hilarious.
I did it for a little bit, but then I realized I was being really loud, and I didn't want to piss off my neighbors or anything, so I stopped.
That's funny.
It was really funny, but it's a little bit unfortunate that the reaction
this sort of makes me sick.
Yeah,
it really does.
It's a little out of hand.
It's a historical game. There's no reason for that.
Yeah,
it's obviously a blanket ban. Apple, just own up to it. Just admit your mistake. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just Apple. It's lots of things, lots of places. Yeah. And I took a Civil War history class in college, and one of the biggest things one of the biggest points they tried to get across was that the Civil War wasn't as much about slavery and racism as people think it was. Right. And it was a lot more about states' rights and
from the Union, yeah.
Yeah, because of unfair tariffs was really what caused the Civil War.
Right.
So in a lot of ways, like, yes, the Confederate flag is a symbol of slavery and racism, but it's a symbol of a lot of other things. And what's unfortunate, and this happens to a lot of things today, like things get reduced to their most obvious point that's easy to point out and support, and all the abstract stuff that comes with it is forgotten because that doesn't make a catchy headline or a good soundbite. Like it's easy to say the Confederate flag is a symbol of racism, and rather than the Confederate flag is a symbol of racism and states rights and what the Constitution was written to defend and stuff. But I don't know, like that gets lost.
Well, like anything else, it's always a more nuanced than everything makes it out to be. It is a very nuanced topic.
Yeah.
And like you said, it does have to do with racism and slavery and stuff, but it's also historical.
Yeah.
It happened, and I don't know. I think Apple going out and banning games that have the Confederate flag and ignoring the historical significance of the Civil War and all that stuff. And again, this goes back to I think our country does a terrible job with teaching history.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Because nowadays people are like, oh yeah, we don't need to ever see the Confederate flag again without having any idea of what that meant to our country. 150 years ago or whatever.
Well, the problem is racist people use the Confederate flag.
Well, exactly. That's
So-
their right.
Newark Valley
That's
High
their
School?
that's their symbol for racism. When,
Yeah.
like you said, it's more than that. Just that, you know. So it's too bad. This country's going to hell in a handbasket.
I still say, like, it just boils down to that idea, like the tweet society that we live in. It's what makes the best soundbite. What is the most favorable? Nobody wants to dig into the facts about things. They just want to latch on to whatever looks the most.
Which is incidentally
progressive.
One of the reasons why I got off of social media is that very same thing, because everything is so like you said, it's filed down to a nub, to a point, to a word. All the PR marketing jargon, garbage, nonsense is. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's just so calculated. It's inhuman.
Hollow.
It's the hive mind, man.
Awful.
That Twitter is perfect for the hive mind.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, that's the little soapbox chat
Yeah.
there. It's been a while since we did that.
Yeah.
But now's our opportunity to do it again. A new quest featured in Destiny's Taken King expansion requires that you buy a can of Red Bull to activate it. So it's going to be a Red Bull exclusive quest from September 18th to December 31st as part of the Taken King expansion. Also includes a 30-minute experience booster, which I think is a great way to do a brand partnership. You buy a can of Red Bull, you get a code for a 30-minute experience boost.
Makes sense.
I think
That's what Halo did for Mountain Dew.
That's great. I love that stuff. I used to work in brand partnerships, so this stuff is all really fun to me, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Great ideas. Unfortunately, this one was really poorly timed. Because a lot of people were really upset with this whole Taken King expansion and the cost of it, and what they're getting out of it. And there was an interview today or yesterday with one of the developers who said something about, like,
if you saw how good the emotes were, you'd just throw money at your TV screen. Something just so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And then he came back today and said, I realize I sounded like an asshat, and I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah, you kind of did.
Yep.
At least he owned it.
So, yeah, and the expansion is going to be $40, which people were freaking out about. And Ryan Winslet, I took the quote from, he's at Cinema Blend Games. He said, okay, $40 is 2/3 the cost of the full game that originally came out. But what we've seen so far sounds like 1/4 of the amount of content that came on the disc.
Yeah. My whole problem with Destiny was they pushed the season pass on you. Like when I went to buy the game, the guy at GameStop asked me 6 times if I wanted to buy the season pass, and I didn't want it because I was ambivalent about the game anyway, because having played the alpha or beta or whatever. I was like, no, I want to make sure the game's okay first, make sure I didn't end up getting it, which is good because I didn't end up liking Destiny all that much. But they sell you the season pass, which to me means all the downloadable content that's going to come out for Destiny is in this season pass. Well, the season pass was 2 pieces of downloadable content, and now they're adding more. Like, I hate that. Really hate that.
You're not the only one, Dan.
Well, that's good. People should. It's frustrating. So,
but Techland, did you guys see the Techland Dying Light spoof today?
Yeah.
They sort of copied the graphic design of the Red Bull exclusive quest that Destiny put out and did their own that rewards players for drinking water. And on the graphic, they said, post a picture with the hashtag, and you'll get a code for weapon docket in Dying Light. I thought that was really funny.
That is funny.
But good guy, Techland.
Yeah, good guy.
Fun
Techland.
game, too.
Great game. Wonder what it's like the mod tools are, live and well, right? That's going on?
Yeah, I haven't checked up on it. I just haven't had time, but there's probably some good mods out there now. They came out like right as I was finishing up Dying Light, as I was beating it, so
that's one I might go back to.
Yeah.
Will,
what's up?
This Nibblebit's for you.
Let's hear it.
And me. Relogic released a trailer for Terraria's 1.3 patch.
Ooh, what's in it?
So 800 new items.
Oh my gosh.
800. New biomes, new enemies like pirates and aliens, an expert mode, new events, a new boss, several new weapons, including a portal gun. Although that's not really a weapon, but how cool is that?
They added
awesome.
the portal gun.
And this one was big for me. New achievements I don't care as much about, but they streamlined the multiplayer, which was always a pain to get working correctly.
Yeah, because you wouldn't connect.
Yeah, unless you like went into your router settings and opened up ports and all that stuff.
See, that's how Starbound was too,
Ugh.
and I gave up on it because I mean I was drunk, so it was a little too hard for me to figure out. Whereas Don't Starve was so easy to hook up a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
too easy.
Yeah.
And they also added cloud saving, which is a big one for me because when I was playing Terraria a lot, I would often switch between my desktop and my laptop because that's a game that can run on everything.
Yeah.
So it's good to finally have cloud saving for that.
And if you didn't play for a while, your characters like magically get deleted. I lost all 3 of my characters.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that happened.
Man, it was tragic.
Bummer.
No kidding. What are the new biomes that they added?
I don't know. I didn't get too into it. I watched the trailer, but I can't really remember.
That's crazy.
Am I gonna have to play Terraria again?
I think we're gonna have to.
All right.
When's that other world coming out?
What other world?
Terraria Otherworld or whatever?
The space one?
Edge of Space?
No, it was the purpley one, maybe that was trailer for 1.3. I don't know.
Maybe. Are you sure it's not Edge of Space?
No. Dan, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Look up Terraria Otherworld. It's something like that.
I don't know. But Terraria is one of my favorite games of all time, so. Top 5, where did I put it? Where did it land on my drunken rant? Who knows?
Remember.
I don't know. Master of Orion isn't on there, though.
5 days, Will, that patch 1.3 comes out on PC.
Oh, that's not far out at all.
So what's next weekend is 4th of July weekend.
I'm not going to be home.
Oh, you're going.
Yeah. It is Otherworld, by the way.
Shoot. Bummer. But anyway, Sony's Atom Boys confirmed the PlayStation Activision exclusive DLC deal for the new Call of Duty will give PlayStation owners 30 days of exclusivity.
I also hate that stuff. It bugs me.
I want to know how much they pay for that.
Yeah.
I want to know how much that costs.
And if it translates into more sales.
Exactly.
I wouldn't think it would translate to too many more sales.
Do you think the bros who used to get it for the Xbox One are going to buy a PlayStation now for the exclusive content?
I don't know.
I can't see it.
I don't either. I think people kind of have their preferred platform, and they're probably just going to get it for that anyway.
I think you're right. Like I don't see how that's worth the investment.
But do you think they would do it if they didn't think it was worth it?
Yeah.
It's a good point. Never mind.
You'd be surprised.
I agree with Dan on that one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I can't imagine it moves the needle. I mean, again, it depends on how much they pay for it. Like, what would you guys think is the price tag for that?
I can't
It's
even
probably in the
guess.
millions.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely in the millions, but like, how much? Like 50 million, you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to put a number on it because it would probably make me sick. You know?
I don't know. And how do you like, that's such a hard thing to market, like.
Well, and it's when you're actually playing the game, like you never know. Like I remember because I had Destiny for the PS4 and they had a bunch of exclusive missions. I never had any idea what they were. There was like an extra strike and a few extra missions, and I mean it all just blended into the rest of the game. I had no idea what extra I was getting.
When it was Microsoft last year for the trailers and stuff for Call of Duty, did they say like exclusive DLC first on Xbox?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
They always do stupid stuff like that, especially with Call of Duty, of all things.
Dumb game.
Yeah,
Drives me nuts. That they do that instead of actually having a lot of exclusives.
yeah.
You know, Sony didn't have any exclusives that are coming out in this year, really. They've got a few coming out next year, and then some that are coming out way in the distance, probably. But they didn't have anything exclusive, so they had extra Destiny missions and extra Call of Duty missions.
They have just got it, Dan. Chill
lieu.
out.
No, I mean big like AAA games. Yeah. I don't count JRPGs. They definitely have the edge on those.
Oh, definitely.
The only scenario I could envision that moving the needle at all is like professional Call of Duty players and YouTubers and stuff who have all the consoles will be playing on whatever console has the exclusive DLC because, you know, they have to do it first.
Yeah.
And it might have that sort of trickle down effect where all these kids are watching these people play and they need to be part of that community too.
It seems like a lot of steps though for that to actually work, you know?
Is it though?
Oh,
Yeah.
they have to ask their parents for money.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that whole YouTube thing, like kids watching Twitch and gamers and stuff, like we didn't experience that when we were kids, and
No, we didn't.
I still don't think I fully grasp just how big that is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I guess that's the problem.
We wish we knew.
And then Xbox One's not really a nibble bit, but I looked at their backwards compatibility list for games. They announced the backwards compatibility feature at E3. Right now the list is rather small. It's just in the preview mode, and there's more games to come. I don't know. Do you want me to read off these quickly?
Maybe some notables.
And there aren't any.
Mass Effect.
Kingdom for Keflings, Dan.
Mass Effect's on there. That's a notable.
Is it?
Why would they?
Yeah. Perfect Dark. 0. That's a notable.
Why would they watch with big games?
Oh, control click. I'm clicking the wrong thing here. But then I also pulled the top 20 most requested games too, because that's the way Microsoft's going to do it. They want people to request, let them know what games they want to see, because they have to go to the publishers and get approval. Notables that are in the preview mode already: Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. Battle Block Theater, Mass Effect, Perfect Dark 0, Super Meat Boy. Toy Soldiers, that was a fun game.
Yeah, I like the Toy Soldiers games.
Right now, the top 5 most requested are Red Dead Redemption. That would be my number 1. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Skyrim, Halo Reach, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. There's a lot of Halo, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Fallout on here.
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
Fallout 3 is supposedly coming with Fallout 4.
There you go.
So that'll be one of them.
They better add the Mass Effect games if they're not doing the remaster.
1's already on there, right?
Yeah, but 2 and 3 aren't.
They're on the list. They're in the top 20 most requested.
Nice. Okay.
That's all I got.
Will, what do you got?
Did anybody read the article about Fire Emblem Awakening saving the Fire Emblem franchise?
Yes.
Briefly. I skimmed it.
So basically what happened was the developer of Fire Emblem Intelligent Systems talked to Nintendo, and they said that this is going to be your last Fire Emblem game because it wasn't making the cut with sales or anything like that. So when they were making the game, they pretty much were doing like everything that they wanted to try, but were kind of too scared to like make the diehard Fire Emblem people mad and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of made this into their like dream game and whatnot, and it sold so well that the same person who said this is your last game and said when's the next one coming out.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah,
and Fire Emblem Awakening is a game that cracked my top 10.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was by far one of my favorite games that I've played recently.
Yeah,
and it just kind of. It got me excited. I want to play it again, even though I played it already this year, and like I'm really excited for Fire Emblem Fates.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those articles that I was like, gave me that good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
And my other one is Bethesda let a fan pay for Fallout 4 in bottle caps, 2,200 bottle caps.
It's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Corey, did you see that article?
I did. I actually tweeted something about that today.
Oh, did you?
Like an image of the bottle caps.
I
bet you that guy has been saving those ever since he's like, hey, I got an idea.
It was 2,240 bottle caps.
Just started saving bottle caps at that point. He's like, I'm going to try to pay for Fallout 4 when it gets announced with bottle caps.
And it's so cool that Bethesda let him do that. And it's kind of one of those like good PR moves, basically. Because everybody sees that and they're like, oh, that's really awesome. So
yeah.
Yeah, well, you didn't tweet that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. That was good.
But nobody.
You got it, bro.
Well, you didn't cover it.
No,
so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But those are my two nibble bits.
Okay. Me next. First, it had been, I don't know, I guess taken out of context, maybe, that the Fallout 4 frame rate and resolution would be at 1080p 30 frames per second for everyone. I guess that was a quote from Todd Howard from, I think, Digital Spy had that interview or something, or excerpts from the interview, which to me didn't seem right. And that lit the internet ablaze like last weekend, and people were like PO'd, and I was like, that doesn't seem right. And then sure enough, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, Bethesda tweeted on their official account that Fallout 4 frame rate and resolution will not be limited in any way on PC. So that's good.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, Dan, but sorry.
Go ahead. I figured it wouldn't be.
Yeah, when I tweeted that initial 1080p 30 frames per second on everything, I put on everything in quotes.
Quotes, yeah.
Because I assumed like it can't be the case for PC.
No, definitely not.
I think it was just
taken out of context.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, definitely. Which kind of leads me into my next tweet, or my next nibble bit. Batman Arkham Knight PC port is apparently quite the disaster. Players are reporting widespread issues, including crashing, unplayable frame rates, and all sorts of graphical jank. SLI, which is the running two graphics cards at once, actually makes a game run worse than just a single graphics card, which makes absolutely no sense. All recommended and minimum specs quoted were for the artificial 30 frames per second cap and not 60 frames per second. So all the recommended specs were for running the game at 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second. The port was so bad that Warner Brothers Interactive and Rocksteady have decided to pull the game from Steam, and even third-party sellers like Green Man Gaming has said if the game isn't fixed by the first patch, they would be offering refunds as well. So this is why I didn't end up getting it, or I'm glad I didn't end up buying it from Green Man Gaming for PC. It's infuriating.
Surprising that can happen still.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Will earlier, and the rumor around is that they outsourced their PC port to Iron Galaxy, and Iron Galaxy was only able to get their hands on it about 2 months ago, and only had 2 months and 12 people to work on the PC port.
Yeah, Warner Brothers had no problem throwing them under the bus either. I don't know if you saw their official tweet.
No,
but it was like, we are working with our third-party developer, PC developer, to get the issue sorted out.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Why don't you just sort out the issue and
it's your game.
Yeah.
I think everyone realizes at this point you gave Iron Galaxy the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
I watched Total Biscuit's port report and just how bad the game is. It's quite the mess. I think it's going to be a little while till they get everything sorted out and fixed.
All right.
I think it's embarrassing.
Video games 2015.
Warner Brothers also did Mortal Kombat X, which is also a mess on PC. So watch out. That means Mad Max is not a buy for me. I was considering it, but now I'm gonna wait. I don't trust Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is the new Ubisoft, who was the new EA.
Just spend that money on the DVD when it comes out.
Yeah, I do want to watch the movie. So that's all I had. My other one was Fatal Frame, which I already talked about. So, how was your week, Corey?
It was good. I have 3 pieces of entertainment I'd like to talk about.
Let's hear it.
Just quickly, I saw Jurassic World.
Uh-huh.
Not a great film.
I've heard.
But a fun movie.
Fun experience.
And it sort of lived and died for me on the references to the original film.
Gotcha.
I like Chris Pratt. I think he's a handsome, charming dude. I don't think they used him very well. Just a lot of bad acting and terrible writing. But still fun. Just because of the references to the old Star Wars. Like, a lot of the set pieces weren't great. I don't know.
Jurassic Park, you mean?
What?
Jurassic Park, you mean? I think you said Star Wars.
Set pieces.
Oh, Star Wars set pieces?
No, a lot of the set pieces weren't great.
Oh, no, you said Star Wars.
When did I say Star Wars? Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I meant Jurassic Park if I said Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do recommend going to see it in the theaters. It is fun, but not nearly as good as the first movie.
Okay.
I also saw Interstellar last night. I got home from work and fell asleep on the couch at about 5 p.m. and woke up at about 10 p.m. So I pretty much took a 5-hour nap, and I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep last night. So at about 11 o'clock, I started watching Interstellar, which is almost a 3-hour movie, but had no trouble staying awake for it. And Dan, I think you should watch it. I don't know how familiar you are with it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so it's, what's his face? Not Kevin Costner. What's his name? True Detective.
I don't know.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh my god, I can't think of his name. It's like one of the most popular actors right now.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
Tom Cruise.
the guy from Surfer Dude. It's like the worst movie to cite for him.
I was gonna say you gotta name something I would have seen.
Wolf of Wall Street. He's in the beginning. He's the home guy.
Wait, what movie?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Leonardo
I didn't see that.
DiCaprio.
No. Oh my god, you guys, this is terrible.
I'm just gonna look it up. Keep talking.
I'm the worst movie person you can ask.
But anyway, he is a farmer with a piloting past, and he did work for NASA at one point, and he sort of stumbles upon a secret NASA program that their goal is to save humanity because the Earth is dying, essentially. But what it does really well is deals with the idea of interstellar travel and relativity and how time influences things.
Yeah.
But it gets real trippy towards the end of it.
Nice.
And I wasn't in love with the movie overall, but I think it did that stuff really well. And it was, as somebody who kind of is into that whole...
Matt McConaughey?
Yes, thank you. Oh my God, why couldn't I think of his name? Oh, that's embarrassing. But
That's fine.
for like people who are into nerdy, physics-y, space travel-y stuff, it's really good.
I read a Arthur C. Clarke science fiction book, and someone sneaks onto an alien spaceship, and it's 80 light years away.
Mm-hmm.
And just he knew it was going to be a one-way trip for him. He knew he'd come back, but he knew when he came back, everyone would be dead. It only ended up taking like 6 months for them to travel that at that speed, but it was because it was 80 light years away. Like 80 years passed before he got there, and by the time he came back, it was 160 years later. The Earth had changed. Yeah. So that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
With
it's a little bit of a spoiler, but he wants to get back to his family, at some point, but he's doing this interstellar travel. There's a wormhole near Saturn, and at one point they go through the wormhole, and at one point they need to go to this planet, but they determine that every hour spent on that planet is 7 years of Earth time.
Wow.
So it's really stressful to watch that scene unfold because, you know, you fall in love with the guy and his family, and you just want him to get home to his family before they all die off. And just every second that ticks off, you're like, oh my God, get off that plane. But I don't know. It does that stuff really well, but not a great movie.
Right.
But I do recommend it. And then the other thing, just quickly, is Kung Fury. If you haven't seen Kung Fury, it's only 30 minutes on YouTube. You can watch it. It's a Kickstarted film. It's sort of so bad it's good on purpose spoof on like 80s terrible kung fu movies. It's very over the top, but a lot of fun to watch. And again, only 30 minutes. So check that out if you get the chance.
Nice. Anything else, Corey?
Nope.
What do you got, Will?
Honestly, not a whole lot. One of my friends is home from the Air Force, so I've been hanging out with him playing video games, and I'm going to be going to Florida 4th of July next week, so I won't be on, not next episode, but the one after. Correct?
Yeah, that'll be our Arkham Knight episode, most likely.
So we're not going to have a full crew until after I get back.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 people for a little while.
Yeah.
Is it just me and you next week, Dan?
No,
I'll be here.
Oh, okay.
We'll be here next week. It's the week after. He won't be here, but Eric will be back, I think, depending on his schedule, I guess, right?
As long as we don't record the night before July 3rd.
I can't pick any dates out of my mind.
I think that's Friday.
Okay, yeah, we won't need to do that.
Okay. Because I have the load that day,
Gotcha.
and it's the 4th of July, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
up until 1.
I don't blame you.
So,
Okay.
but other than that, I mean, I played a lot of Smash.
Yeah.
A disgusting amount of Smash, even.
Nice.
So, I'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay. I don't really have much to talk about either. I don't think I've watched anything really. I pretty much play games any spare moment I have. Like I said, Eric was kind enough to let me borrow his PS4 and Batman Arkham Knight while he's out of town, so I've been playing through that. But I'll talk about that during what we played. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break because I gotta take a whiz. So we'll be right back right after this. Wow. What?
Yeah, is there any chance we can record Wednesday next week?
I don't care.
Okay.
It's up to Corey.
Yeah, oh, sorry,
That's
Corey.
into his video game time.
I'm going to kill myself.
I don't want to make you do that. Sorry.
It's all right. I'll live.
I don't think you will.
I will manage. I will make do.
If we could record early on Thursday, but we can't.
My back. Can we do later on Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't work the next day, so.
Like 8:30ish or something. Again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Although 8:30 turns into 9.
We're just gotta make sure we do it.
Turns into 1 a.m.
We'll just make sure we record on time.
Yeesh.
So when are we playing Terraria again?
Well, I'm playing June 30th when the expansion comes out. Bum, 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 bum.
Probably play then too.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Okay. Shall we?
I'm ready.
I think we'll be over an hour and a half, but not a lot we can do about that.
What are we at right now?
Hour and 8 minutes.
Oh boy.
It's fine. But I thought, I mean, I'm just gonna have to lower the bit rate for it.
Cut out some of the fluff.
I'm not gonna go back and listen and cut out fluff. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 205 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now what we played. Will, You want to talk about Smash first, or
Yeah, I can talk about Smash.
what do you got?
So they recently did a bundle and released Lucas, Ryu, Roy, and a couple new maps into the game. One was a remake, Dreamland 64. They did a Street Fighter map, and then they released the Miiverse map for free. And I talked about the Miiverse map a little bit, or stage. Basically, messages come up saying, like, if you're playing as Ike, like, somebody rooting Ike on, you know? Because, like, after you win the match, you post a message from the victory screen, you know, when they're clapping and the person's, you know, like, first place. Mm-hmm. So you post a message after that, and it goes up after, like, while you're fighting as that character. As I said, hilarity ensues with some of the stuff that gets by. Playing with 4 people, it's a blast to, like, have one person see the message and then start laughing and pause and then just zoom in on it and have it be a wiener or whatever. A lot of screen caps from that.
Nice.
So which character do you guys want to hear about first? Lucas?
Ryu. Yeah, being a new character to the...
Yeah, so Ryu is the first, like, new character for the DLC that they added. They've pretty much been going under their backlog of characters that they've cut out from past games.
Was Ryu in the... Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, Lucas, character. Roy, and Mewtwo were all past characters. So Ryu... I should say first that all the new characters are, like, really, really good. But Ryu is, like, a lot of people thought he was going to be like Little Mac. He isn't. He has a better recovery and stuff like that, and he's more well-balanced. With Little Mac is only really good at ground fighting, but Ryu is really, really good at pretty much everything. He's got his recovery. You know how, like, characters have the up B for their recovery? It's like their triple jump.
Yeah.
But Ryu's B moves, like all of his special moves, all help him with recovery. So, like, his over B is the spinning kick, the whirlwind kick. So, like, if he's really far off stage, he can just whirlwind kick back to the stage. That helps, and he's got his up B and stuff like that.
Nice.
His Hadouken, which is that blue thing, is just the B button.
Kamehameha.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fun to just do that. And, like, I was playing as Kirby the other day, and I just, like... You know how Kirby copies the power, so it's that, and it's like little Kirby doing the Hadouken, just pressing V. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, he's really strong. He does a ton of damage. He can kill pretty quick. I think he's probably going to be a character that is going to be in Smash tournaments, is my guess.
Nice.
Ton of fun to play. I really enjoy him. He's probably my least favorite of the 3 that came out, but because I like the other 2 more and I've played with them. So then there's Lucas. His moveset got changed a little bit. It's like got tweaked to do a few things. So what they try to avoid is having copies of characters. So like in past games, Ness and Lucas were like kind of clone characters, and like Falcon and Fox kind of clone characters. So they're trying to like deviate them just enough so like they play differently. So like with Ness, his over B, which is the fire attack, you know how you can get trapped into it?
Yeah.
Lucas's fire attack like pushes you away. So like it does more damage like on impact, and like you go flying back. So that's one thing. His lightning attack, you know how you do the up B and it like the electric bolt. When Ness's hits you, it like disappears. But Lucas's goes through you, and you can keep hitting them with it if you can follow him. So that's like something that, you know, gets damage. But Lucas has my favorite attack in the entire game, and it's his up smash. I can't really explain it, but he goes like he raises his hands into the air, and like this like magical thing goes up and explodes, and like it kills people so fast. It's my favorite move in the game. If you watch a video of him doing it, it's so powerful, but the hitbox is like really tiny, so you have to like time it up perfectly, and if you don't time it up, they're gonna hit you and punish your character. But Lucas, I'm really happy is back. He's a fan favorite. He's somebody I didn't think should have been cut in the first place.
Right.
And then there's Roy. Roy is by far the best of the 3. He is fast like Marth and Lucina, but he has the power of Ike.
Oh, wow.
And I've killed people at 60% before. His B attack is super powerful. You know how all of them have like the charge up sword and whatnot? His is just like kills you at 40%.
Wow.
It's crazy. He's so good. And he's a ton of fun to play. And you know, a lot of people were upset that he's been, you know, mistreated, even though he's not a relevant character in Fire Emblem. I don't even know which Fire Emblem he was in. It was the earlier ones, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like but he got a lot of love in this one. And they changed his moveset up a little bit. He was in Melee, so I don't remember it as much, but a lot of people on the internet said that, you know, he is fairly different from what he was. Other than that, I mean, Corey, you want to know anything?
Which you prefer?
I mean, I don't know. Between Lucas and Ryu's my least favorite only because I like the other characters more. But I play Ness more than Lucas, so I'd probably say Roy.
Roy's our boy.
Yeah, Roy's our boy. Exactly. That's still the chant. Too is the how like when a character's doing really good, the crowd starts chanting. That's the Roy chant.
Oh, that's cool.
Is Roy's our boy. Character models are awesome, by the way. A lot of the different skin variations are pretty cool. It's cool. I don't know. I just like everything. I remember these characters from Brawl and Melee and stuff like that. It's like nice to see them updated with the like Ryu graphics and like it just looks better and looks a lot nicer. Looks a lot cooler. But like me and my friends have been playing a ton of Smash recently because we've all been hanging out because my friend's in from the Air Force. So like it's just what we sit down and play for a couple hours.
Yeah,
and
it's fun.
Have a ton of fun. It's such a good game. Nintendo knocked it out of the park, and with just I'm guessing Wolf is going to be put back into the game with Star Fox coming out.
Yeah, maybe.
So that'll be another character from the backlog. They need to add Ice Climbers, by the way. You don't cut a character that's been in since Melee, I don't think, just because the 3DS couldn't handle it. I still don't like that.
Yeah. When are they going to put King Boo in this game?
They should.
Yeah.
You should do the petition.
There we go.
Petition, the poll.
The poll, yeah.
Because they're not going by popularity; they're going by characters that they think would be.
I put Bayonetta.
That would be a good character. Well, Alex Trebek is like doing good for the poll, so like
they could just make a me of Alex Trebek.
Yeah, it's just like
not the same.
You know how like they have the character and then the tagline for the character, like it's Alex Trebek is putting the other fighters in jeopardy.
Yeah,
is the tagline.
Oh, nice.
I get it.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, so I think they're just picking from characters they think that would be good.
Nice.
And King Boo has been getting shafted in Mario games recently, cutting him from Mario Kart and whatnot. The other thing that I played is the new Heroes map. I won't talk about it for too much because the patch isn't officially out yet. So what they do is the public test realm for Blizzard games, and what that is they upload their patches and stuff early into that, like a week early, and then people can test it out and mess with like everything and see if there's bugs and whatnot. So like all of the character reworks are in the public test realm. So like Brightwing's a lot different. Jaina lost some stuff. Like so the characters are how they're going to be when the patch gets implemented next week. But the reason I did it was to play the new map, and the new map is awesome.
Yeah, looks cool.
So the gist of it is, I talked about it a little bit, is that there's 2 lanes, a top and a bottom, and then a massive jungle in the middle with a bunch of like camps, bruiser camps, siege camps, and whatnot. And in the middle is 2 immortals fighting. I don't remember their names. But what happens is they like if they're just fighting themselves, like nothing goes down and they all have hit points. So like nothing happens, it's a wash. So what you have to do is the 2 teams have to go and fight the immortals and help yours win in the fight. And if you kill it, your immortal helps fight, helps siege with you. So what's going on is like both teams are fighting the different immortals, and like I'm Nova, so like I would just go in and like pick off like Vala, who's a squishy assassin who was trying to kill our immortal. So like I'd kill her and then run away, and like there's like a whole bunch of strategy to it, and it's really cool. I think it could be the best map. I think it's a ton of fun. I
like the idea of it.
It's massive too. Like it's not a small map, and it's just really cool to see the heaven hell breakdown, like split in the middle. It just looks really awesome, and it's a ton of fun. The music on it is great. The announcing is great. Like and like all the characters are going to be adding, or like I think them doing, instead of just releasing whatever hero they want at any time, I kind of like them doing the themed events for a few months.
Yeah, focused on Diablo right now.
Yeah, like there's a lot of Diablo heroes that just get me so excited for them to be adding. And like I don't know, the boss in the Act 5, the Dark Angel and stuff like that. He's on the cover of the Reaper of Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like going to be a character that it's going to get added.
Nice.
And he just looks so cool. I don't know. I just find like Diablo, I think, has the coolest character base. Because I love angels and demons and stuff like that. Like I find it really cool. But
nice.
And that's it.
So you should play Bayonetta. That's all about that.
I do have to play that still.
Yeah.
I'm going
it's good
to.
stuff. Especially Bayonetta 2 was excellent. So
that's one that I have to get back to.
Yeah.
Because I haven't even started it yet. I just gotta get Smash out of my Wii U.
Word. All right, Corey, what do you got?
Just quickly, Axiom Verge, I finally beat.
Hey, well
Hey,
done.
nice work.
Yeah, that's a really good Metroidvania game. I've talked about it at length already. I don't need to get too into it very much, but again, scratches that same itch as a game like Shovel Knight Retro. When I was ready to face the final boss, I only had about like 80% of the map and 30% of the items discovered. So I actually went back and did some searching and went to some areas I wasn't able to get to before because I didn't have the right abilities, and just spent a couple hours just rounding up a bunch of items. And I think I finished with 90% of the map discovered and 65% of the items.
Nice.
So there's still a lot more to discover in that game. But it's not... The gameplay is really good. But it also tells a fairly interesting story, and there's some twists along the way. And I just think it's a really great game all around. Great music, great atmosphere. I do definitely recommend it if you get the chance. It's a good gaming funk game to boot up and shoot some aliens and have some fun.
Nice.
Also, beat Massive Chalice, finally.
Hey, fun.
Nice work.
So you can add those two to the list. After I beat it, I really had a big respect for Massive Chalice. I think it's a beautifully balanced game all the way through, and the difficulty curve is perfect, in my opinion. Like, the game progressively gets harder till the very end. The last battle was very difficult for me, but it adds a nice little twist. I don't want to spoil, but it makes the last battle really awesome. But a lot of people say, like, oh, you don't get attached to the characters like you do in an XCOM, because this game is very XCOM inspired. But to me, it's like that's not what it's about. It's like about the family lines.
Yeah.
You get attached to the family lines, not specific characters.
Exactly. And it's XCOM, but over a span of 300 years.
Yeah.
And you're like breeding people to get favorable results, favorable traits. It does have that sort of what's the game with the traits? Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
It does have that kind of stuff. Like, at one point, a lot of my characters had the drunk trait, just because like I had two drunk parents having children, and I think my standard was also a drunk. The standard is the person who, once you build a crucible in one of your territories, you can appoint a standard, and it's usually your best soldier, because depending on their level of experience, they'll share that experience with all your trainees throughout your kingdom. And so I think at one point, like, I had a house that was the regent and the partner were both drunks, and my standard was a drunk, so I had all these drunk kids that I didn't really pick up on. And that can get kind of frustrating in battle, because they do stupid things sometimes.
I have an archer. I got an achievement for this. My archer killed 5 people, and the achievement was have a drunk... first with a drunk trait, kill 5 people in a thing, and like a couple times, like, he just completely missed open shots.
Yeah, that gets real frustrating.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to say about the game is it's deceptively deep. At first glance, it doesn't seem like a very deep game, and I think one of my first comments was, this is the kind of game I'd rather just play on like a mobile device.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more going on than it is made immediately apparent, which is another thing I really like about the game. Is there's a tutorial, and it doesn't introduce everything to you. You just sort of slowly learn it along the way, but it's a very easy learning curve along the way. And I like there's certain technologies you can unlock only after you defeat a certain number of enemies. So there's this enemy called a bulwark, and once you hit it, it puts up a shell, so anybody else who hits it on that same turn can only do 1 damage to it. But after you kill a certain amount of them, you can research bulwark armor, which you can then equip on your caberjacks, which are like your melee characters. So I had a melee character at the end of the game who was carrying a sponge stone, which is basically like a drain. When it melee attacked an enemy, it would drain its health, and it also had the bulwark armor, so it was almost unkillable. And it also had this ability that you unlock at level 10 for the caberjack, that I think it was called Fury, that if you killed an enemy, it gained an additional action point. so you could just continuously kill enemies. It was basically unbeatable. But that's like just the cool touches that they add to the game that you don't pick up on at first and don't realize, like, oh, I didn't even know there was equipment, I didn't even know there was items, but I can research all this stuff and mix and match all these character traits and breed to create certain classes that do certain things differently, and there's a lot going on. And one of my favorite little touches is an item called the Time Fist, which is an item for alchemists. And what they do is if it hits, it pushes the enemy that you hit forward in time. And it could be one turn. They could show up on the map the next turn, or it could be 50 years later in a battle. It just pops up, which I think is really cool.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah. It's a really good game. And if you're the least bit interested, please try it, because I think it's very well put together.
I'm gonna play Will's,
and a good tribute to the games that inspired it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move on because I know we're trying to be quick tonight. Okay. Techno Babylon is the point and click retro adventure. It's a cyberpunk kind of setting. It takes place in 2087, and there's a lot of like genetic engineering going on. Everything is run by AI, and you control 3 different characters through this cyberpunk story. I only played like a couple hours of it, but it's really cool because everything is run by AI. You have to sort of enter. I don't know if you guys ever read the book Snow Crash, but it's like a metaverse where it's like a virtual reality world. And I played, my very first character was this woman who was in this virtual reality world, and she unplugs and she's in a shitty apartment. It's a dump, and she has to get out because the locks are broken on the door. So she has to like manipulate the AI throughout her little apartment until she can finally get out of the door. So it's a little bit of puzzle and trial and error kind of stuff. And it never really points the way. There's little hints, but it's not like waypoints or like do this next, and you just kind of have to figure it out on your own. I ended up like taking a memory card out of the meal vending machine that was in my apartment and uploading a virus to that, and then using that to manipulate something else that gave me silverware that I could use to open up the door panel that I could then hack the door, like all this crazy hacker stuff. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to getting into more of that.
Seems cool.
It is really cool. Hearthstone Tavern Brawl is the other thing I tried. The one last week was that you got to play the decks from the Blackrock Mountain Adventure, the enemies that you played, which was really different because they have a lot of crazy cards and powers. And it was 1v1. You're playing actual other people, but you're using the decks from the single-player adventure that you played against to beat. So that was really interesting and added a new element to the game that I think was much needed. And if the first win you get for Tavern Brawl in a week, you get a card pack.
Oh.
Which is another nice, needed thing for that game.
Yeah.
And then the one this week was after every minion death, if one of your minions died, you got a banana card, which can do a number of different things, like give a minion +1/+1 or deal 1 damage. They're all 1-cost mana cards that do different things. So I used my Warlock Zoo deck because that focuses on having a lot of minions. So I was constantly cycling minions and banana cards, and I won on my first try, which was nice because I did not do that last week with the other one. It took me a lot of tries, but I really like that addition to the game. I think it's much needed. Shake things up a little bit.
I have to say, shake it up.
Yeah. And that's my piece.
Cool. All right. My turn. I guess let's start with The Witcher, which I beat.
Yeah.
And
thank you. Woo. It was my goal to have it beaten by this week. So Steam said it took me 72 hours, but I was stuck at 49 for a while, so it's probably closer to 80 hours. I did end up leaving a fair amount of side stuff undone, a few Witcher quests, but a lot of it was lower level stuff that I didn't feel like I needed to go back to when I was level 33 or 34 or whatever. So as for the end, I mean, I've talked a lot about The Witcher, so I won't talk too much about it. But the end, I thought the ending was really, really well done. It's not a blow your mind type of ending or anything, but it was a nice ending to Geralt's story. Much better than another trilogy.
Wait, why is it the end of Geralt's story? Does he die?
No, they said
Dan.
it's not making any more Geralt games.
Oh.
Dan spoiled it for us.
No. CD Projekt Red has said that it's the end of Geralt's story in The Witcher. So,
Well, good.
yeah, it was really well done. Stuff that you did in the game and it influenced the ending, which is cool.
I have one question for you, Dan.
Yes.
Because I was thinking about this earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Dragon Age Inquisition is a better game than The Witcher 3?
No, not even close.
Because I do.
Do you really?
I do. Well, so far. I mean, I haven't gone back to The Witcher 3 in a while, but yeah.
That surprises even me.
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, when you compare the two, like The Witcher, the whole storyline, like in Dragon Age, the main quest storyline was good, but like you said, all the side missions and stuff were shallow and meaningless. Where at least in The Witcher, like even like a random side quest that you would get from someone that was standing on the side of the road usually ended up being something fairly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, you got to meet an interesting character. I just thought there was a lot more of that in The Witcher.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that point. But for me, that's where it ends.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought you didn't like the combat, because I actually like the combat in Dragon Age Inquisition. But I think The Witcher is better.
Maybe, yeah, that's fair. Maybe slightly.
Okay.
But character progression, I think, is way better in Dragon Age. User interface, way better. Controls, way better.
Yeah. I don't have the same control issues that you and Eric are having. I never felt like I was out of control on the horse or anything like that. I know you guys don't.
I can't
the horse.
tell you how many times I wanted to throw my controller through my monitor.
I never had any of those issues. The only really complaints I have about The Witcher are the inventory. You're right, is kind of bad with character progression. Like really, I got more of a sense of character progression with getting my new gear as opposed to leveling up the abilities. I mean, I know that helped a little bit, but for me, it was more about the gear and it was that carrot and stick.
Yeah, but even speaking to the gear, like in Dragon Age, each of those pieces of gear looked very unique and had its own like artistic touches. Whereas at least what I've seen in The Witcher so far, like it's not that different.
I don't think you've played it enough because it does get pretty different.
That's fair, but still, like how long? We've had this conversation before, but like how long do you need to play a game before you can judge whether you like it or not?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I'm 12 hours into The Witcher 3.
Yeah,
Probably more than that.
Not very much, really.
But it is. That's a lot of time to put into a game before you decide whether you like it or not. We always teased Final Fantasy 10 or 13 because the first 30 hours were a tutorial, but that's it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now you could have beaten 3 Call of Duties in the time that you've spent with The Witcher.
Yeah, I mean, I beat Axiom Verge in that amount of time.
Yeah,
Probably Massive Chalice as well.
that's gonna be my thing now. Is I'm gonna play a few shorter games for now, and then I want to go back to Pillars of Eternity and beat that, and then probably play a few more shorter games because all the games I've been playing lately have been super long.
Yeah, you got to change it up for sure.
Yeah. I never felt like The Witcher was a chore though. Like I absolutely loved it from start to finish. It's probably going to be one of those games that I try to go through and play every year as long as I have some free time. I liked it that much. I really really loved it.
Yeah, I just need a long weekend or something where I can just play that for a solid 20 hours or something, you know?
Yeah, because really, like, I was playing it just about every night for 3 or 4 hours, so I was able to stay into the characters and stuff. Like, I can't imagine going and trying to play it like once a week or twice a week. I think that would be kind of hard because it's one of those games that you do need to set some time aside to get into, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't think I'm gonna have a game come out this year that I'm gonna like better. I think it's probably gonna be my end up.
Don't say that because we knew what the game of the year last year was going to be because you and Eric were both like, "Oh, that's my game of the year," and it's like, well,
it's probably gonna only be my game of the year. You don't really like it, and I think Eric's kind of cooled off on it. I don't think he likes it as much as some of the other things. So,
but I still like to be surprised.
Yeah, it's just it's an early candidate. I guess it's more my trying to elaborate how much I liked it. I guess.
Got you. Yeah, I got you.
So there's that. Love that game. Paper Mario Sticker Star. I ended up getting Paper Mario Sticker Star as my Nintendo Club Rewards purchase.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna borrow it from you, Will, but then I was just like, I'll just buy it.
When you said you played it, I'm like, did I let him borrow it? I couldn't remember.
No, because I was looking at the other stuff, and none of it really interested me that much. So that was the one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Paper Mario, but the difference in this one is you collect stickers, and the stickers are your attacks. So you can buy them and sell them, or find them like littered throughout the thing. And there's different things like the boots is like the jump attack in Super Mario RPG. There's hammers and shells and fireballs and all that stuff, and it's your attack. So you kind of have to manage your inventory of attacks. You don't want to run out of attacks because then you can't attack. So you got to make sure you have the right stickers for every situation too. So that's kind of a neat twist on the Paper Mario formula. I really enjoy that. But I'm into the third world now.
Oh wow!
Probably a little less than halfway through the game so far.
You really liking it?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's a great 3DS game. It's perfect for the 3DS because if the kids are sitting down and being quiet for the 5 minutes during the day where they're sitting down and being quiet, I can just flip open my 3DS and play some Paper Mario Sticker Star and then just close it when things get crazy again.
This is a game that I've had for a really long time and haven't really played that I feel like I should.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I think the How Long to Beat's like 14 hours for it.
That's pretty good.
16 hours maybe, something like that. Not too long. Again, like I said, I'm trying to play some shorter games before I get back into Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah,
which is another doozy. I also played Invisible Ink, which is a turn-based strategy stealth game, which reminds me a lot of Shadowrun Returns, especially like the art style is kind of similar, and but it's stealth, so it's also procedurally generated, which is important to know. So anytime you do a mission, like it's going to be different every time, and every time you play through the game. It's done by the developers of Don't Starve and Mark of the Ninja.
Clay?
Clay, yeah. Clay. I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, but it's a game that I expected to go through the first time and beat, and that's just not going to happen. You talked about the difficulty curve on Massive Chalice, how it's nice and smooth. Well, this one, after like 5 or 6 missions in, the difficulty just ramped right up, and I wasn't ready for it, and got my entire spy team wiped out.
Aww.
Same thing happened to me around the same time.
Yeah, I think it does that kind of on purpose, because as you play through, you unlock more things and more characters, and it's a game that teaches you as you play it. So like now I'll go back and I'll know that I need to really spend more time gathering money and resources to prepare myself for when the third level difficulty missions start popping up. So really like that about it. I had some really tense moments where I was like literally shaking because I was so nervous about my next set of moves. That's how into the game I was, and how tense I was about not having my people die, and they ended up dying anyway.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was really good. I was really impressed with it. And then Arkham Knight. I'm not going to talk a lot about the Arkham Knight, just briefly, because we're going to have a full episode on it in, I think, 2 weeks probably. Like I said, Eric was kind enough to let me borrow his PS4 to play it. And so far, I absolutely love it. It's a really, really good game. The only thing I'm going to talk about really is the Batmobile, because the Batmobile is kind of a source of controversy.
Oh, yeah.
Some people didn't like the Batmobile, but I love the Batmobile. I could see where some people thought that maybe they relied too much on it, but it works so well that it doesn't bother me. Because it normally it just drives like a car. You press R2 for your gas or whatever, and you drive it, and it's got a few abilities and stuff. But if you hold down the left L2, it turns into a tank, basically.
That's awesome.
It's almost like a hover tank. It's not a hover tank, but you can go front, back, left, right in all directions, and you have like a cannon, and you have like a machine gun type of thing. The machine gun's for like shooting down missiles, and the cannon's for blowing up drone tanks. It just works really well, and it's all seamless, and there's a lot of different gameplay elements that factor into the Batmobile, which, like I said, some people didn't like, but I really, really like the Batmobile. So, but that's all I'm going to talk about Arkham Knight so far. I'm about a third of the way through the story. Really enjoying the story. I'm trying to gauge how much side stuff I want to do. I don't want to overdo the side stuff. I want Eric to be able to play it when he gets back into town. So I want to have it. I'll have it beaten by that point. So
as somebody who couldn't get into the first one, would I enjoy this one?
You mean Arkham Asylum?
Yeah.
I think City is better than Asylum. It's more open than Asylum. Asylum was kind of closed off. So yeah, I do think it's a Arkham Knight is a it's on par with Arkham City. I think it's better than Arkham City, but it's definitely more open and interesting than Arkham Asylum was.
Okay.
So I'm also not a huge Batman fan, so I didn't know a lot of the villains, and even some of the good guys I didn't have any idea who they were, but they're interesting. So it's a good game, really good game. Glad I didn't buy it on PC.
Yeah.
Too. So
Definitely a buy if you have a PS4, Dan.
Yeah. If you have a PS4, definitely buy it. It's really, really good.
Looks good.
It doesn't actually.
No?
Graphics are probably my biggest complaint about it. Going from The Witcher 3 to PS4 Arkham Knight is shocking. Actually.
Oh, well, I was just gonna in my head comparing it to the other Batman games. Like the city looks much more well lit.
Oh yeah, well it's
gray.
It's an actual city. Like in Arkham City, that city was built for like convicts. This is the actual like Gotham City.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is more not colorful because it is still pretty black, but there's like neon lights and stuff like that. It's more interesting city to look at, definitely. So, yeah, good stuff. Feedback. Shall we get into feedback?
Yeah.
All right. First piece of feedback was actually a voicemail from Ryan in Iowa. We are unfortunately a little too pressed for time. I actually wanted to have this episode to an hour and a half, but we're already over that. We're up against our bandwidth cap. I don't know. Did I talk about that at the beginning of the episode?
I don't think so.
We're up against our bandwidth cap, and I'm going to have to do some audio magic to make the episode fit into what's left of our bandwidth.
So if it sounds like dump,
the quality might not be as good as it usually is. Dump. So sorry about that, Ryan. But we have no choice here. So I did summarize what Ryan talked about in his voicemail. First, he talked about the Blackhawks, obviously being a Blackhawks fan.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats on that. He said he hoped it wasn't as painful for us as the Patriots winning the Super Bowl like every other year.
Oh, no, not even close.
But one of the things I wanted Ryan to be aware of is that part of the whole issue with us being not wanting the Patriots to win is the whole New York-Boston rivalry. So that makes the Patriots winning, kind of worse. Obviously Eric being a Bills fan, and then Jets fans that we have around here. And then, New York, Boston in hockey and baseball. It's kind of a rivalry, New York and Boston. So
especially how they won this most recent year.
What's that? The Patriots?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was strange.
The only reason we weren't rooting for the Blackhawks is because they've won a lot.
Yeah, I wanted to see someone else win. That was really the only reason why. I'm like that with everything, though. I don't want to see the same teams win over and over again.
Unless it's my team.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm selfish.
Right. Unless it's my team, I always root for the underdog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I usually do too. Just kind of how I am.
Yep.
Yeah.
I talked about Antoine Vermette, but also Kimmo Timonen. I actually had forgotten that Kimmo Timonen played for the Blackhawks now.
Yep.
I don't know why I forgot. I just did. He got hurt, didn't he? And he wasn't playing like the last.
Yeah, he had a serious. I don't remember what it was, but he was out all year, and then the Flyers traded him to the Blackhawks.
Yeah, he
played
a little bit. No, but didn't he get hurt in the playoffs too, and not
no,
finish the Cup finals?
He was terrible.
Yeah,
so
he was bad.
He didn't play a lot.
Really?
what the Blackhawks were doing, him and I don't remember, is it Trevor Van Riemsdyk?
Van Riemsdyk, yeah.
They were playing like 6 minutes a night, and Duncan Keith and Seabrook and Oduya and Hjalmarsson were playing like 20.
Oh wow. Well,
Plus.
no, Keith was playing
Like
30.
He's playing 30.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. So
yeah. But what I didn't know, I think my wife was watching this, but I think I was playing a video game at the time, but Taze wanted Timonen to come lift the cup with him.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was awesome. Timonen, of course, for those that don't know, is a former longtime Predator. He was a Predator captain. He was the captain when I actually first started watching the Predators 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Marek Zidlicki were the top D pairing.
Wow.
Which is a long time ago now that I think about it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Taze wanted Timonen to lift the cup with him, which I thought was a classy move. Timonen's a long time NHLer. He's played for a few teams, so
yeah,
that was cool. But he didn't want to out of respect for Taze. And then the second person to hoist the cup was Timonen, which is cool.
What, Patrick Kane get it third?
I don't know, actually.
Speaking of, just to bring it back to video games, did you guys see the NHL 16 cover?
I thought that was a joke.
No.
Was it a joke? I hope so.
I don't know. The Kays and Tane lifting the cup together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a joke.
Oh, God. Thank God. It was bad.
I don't know.
I just saw it before we recorded, but
yeah, me too. I didn't know it was real. I got the impression it was a joke. I don't know.
Where'd you see it?
The hockey subreddit.
Oh God, I gotta see this.
And then he wanted our thoughts on NHL trades and draft. He says he doesn't think Brian Bickle or Patrick Sharp will be with the team. He thinks one of them might be get traded to the Sabres.
Did you see what they wanted for Patrick Sharp?
It was probably too much.
Oh my God.
He didn't have a very good year this year.
Somebody summed it up on the hockey subreddit saying, so pretty much what they want is a Patrick Sharp 15 years ago and all this other stuff. It's like they wanted a ridiculous amount of things. A prospect, a top 6 forward, a first round pick. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to take that. Or you think they're trying to oversell him and then try to get something a little bit better for him than they otherwise?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
if they realistically assessed his value.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
He's old.
Yeah,
but
he didn't have a very good year this year because I had him on one of my fantasy teams. And
no, but that's the thing about cup-winning teams. Like, everybody will pay more for those players.
Yeah,
and that's why it's hard to maintain a franchise in this cap era. Is your players are worth more when you've won cups.
Yeah, experience definitely. And then he asked me specifically about Colin Wilson and Craig Smith. Both are restricted free agents. I hope we re-sign both of them. I don't think we will. If I had to pick one or the other, I probably would rather re-sign Craig Smith. He's a little more consistent. Colin Wilson will be dominant at times, but he's also invisible at times. Whereas Craig Smith, I think, he seems to be on or around the puck at all times. He's persistent, I guess, is the best way to characterize him. So, if I had to pick one,
that cover is terrible. It's real.
Yeah. Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of. They could have done a better job with that photo. It looks like I took the photo.
That's amazing. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. And then he goes on games. He highly recommends Life is Strange. He said it's a Telltale-esque game with a hint of heavy rain. You play as an 18-year-old in college. He's at episode 3. Shit really hit the fan. He talked about, Will, you're interested in it, and I'm obviously interested in it. We both do want to wait to play it until it's all done. I can't wait that month.
I'm hoping this comes out, all the episodes come out this year, because I want to have it played for Game of the Year stuff, because everybody is speaking very glowingly of this, and it gets me excited to play it now.
Yeah, definitely on our list.
Definitely.
So he talked about Story of Seasons. He said it cooled off on Story of Seasons after about 75 hours.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he said he didn't continue the story. He said he might have missed something, but the story, he just was doing the same thing over and over again. He said any guides he came across online were kind of crappy.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm only in the summer of my first year, and you start in spring because I only play a couple nights every, I play a couple in-game nights every few nights before bed, so I don't get to play it for like a good chunk of time. But I can definitely see where you would think that it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Well, he said he's in his second summer or something like that.
So he put in 75 hours. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's insane.
He said also it doesn't scale well. There's huge jumps in some of the things you can buy. Like after you reach a certain point, the cost of things gets
crazy,
astronomical. Yeah.
I've gone from having a ton of money to having like no money like so many times. It's just like all depends on how much you get when you grow.
Right.
I don't know. And I always go swimming and farm for fish and stuff like that. So
nice.
So
he also said it's perfect for the 3DS though.
Yes, it is.
So he's back on Destiny. He wanted to talk about the Thumbstick Athletes clan on PS4. To contact him if you want to play, if you're going to pick up Destiny or you just got Destiny or whatever. He says RP Green Machine 4 on Twitter for Destiny, or you can contact us and we'll put you in contact. We do have an Xbox One Destiny clan too. I don't know that one's as active as the PS4 one, but I think Eric did set it up, or someone set it up. I think Eric did it. Eric must have done it. It wasn't me.
I don't think Eric did it.
Someone did.
Somebody definitely did.
Yeah, someone set up a Thumbstick Athletes clan for Destiny on Xbox One too.
But I don't remember it being Eric.
Yeah, I don't know. And he's waiting for Will and Eric to get back into it too. So
that's coming.
You should at least before the expansion comes out if you're going to get the expansion.
Yeah, I want to play it. It's just, it's one of those things that I'm like, I kind of want to play Destiny, and then I go do something else, and then I forget.
Right.
So
gotcha. Back to Xbox 360 stuff. He's looking for Assassin's Creed Rogue, still a little bit too expensive, but he bought XCOM for $8.
Nice.
Said he finally played it and it was phenomenal. We're all huge fans of that game. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually, before XCOM 2 comes out, I'm going to do a long war playthrough probably. I'll start sometime this summer. And then he did listen to the episode on the way. It was either to or from Chicago, but he wasn't there for the parade. Apparently the parade, the like rally and stuff for the Blackhawk. I mean, obviously it was very highly populated. He was there. He was in Chicago for a wedding. So
okay.
He didn't get to take part in any of the celebrations.
He missed Corey Crawford's F-bomb.
Again.
Good old
That was
Corey.
great.
That's going to be a thing,
Yeah.
I think.
He promised he wouldn't do it, and that was the first thing he did.
Did he promise he wouldn't do it?
Apparently, yeah.
You know what happens when you get drinking.
I respect Corey Crawford so much.
Yeah,
Oh, God. Huge brownie points for that.
Yeah. And then he adds an addendum. He says, I simply forgot to mention the voicemail. I've been playing less video games lately because I was in the middle of soccer season coaching co-ed middle schoolers. That was a few weeks ago, but it was nice to win second place and only take a loss to the other team we practice with and are associated with the same middle school. Basically our teammates. But now a few months off from soccer until the fall season kicks in, although I've been watching a lot of the Women's World Cup and pulling for Team USA, of course. Hopefully Eric has seen some and can inform you all about our ladies from Team USA. Thanks as usual, fellas, Ryan in Iowa. So thanks, Ryan. It was good to hear from you. It's been a little while.
Next year, bring home that gold.
Yeah. Champion.
Well, yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, Corey, you want to read the other feedback?
Which one?
All of it.
What other feedback? Did we have other feedback?
Yeah, we did. We had a few pieces of feedback.
From what? Where are they?
Look on our Facebook page. Was one of them, and I think the other one was in our emails.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot here.
Well, I forgot that we have Eric compile it for us, but he's not here this week. I could probably put it up.
We had one in the email.
Yes, there was one in the emails. You can
Oh, okay. This is from
Idaho Jake.
Idaho Jake. Hey guys, I have been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online, and I will say I am having fun with it. I know most people are afraid of not being able to play it solo, but that is all I have done. I think you can do almost all the games solo because the dungeons are open, so you don't need to team up with anyone. You just go in, and you will probably run into 2 or 3 people on the same quest, and you just help each other, then split. The leveling system is like other MMOs. I wish they would have kept it like Skyrim. The mining is better because it only takes 2 hits instead of 9. Always nice. But the blacksmithing is a little too complicated. The combat is good but needs work. You can't switch between weapons like you could in Skyrim, and that really sucks. Or if you can, I haven't figured out how yet. The areas are huge and full of quests, and that is what keeps me going back. The one thing that really pisses me off is that if you lockpick a chest, but your inventory is full, you destroy something to make room, someone else can just come up and take what is in the chest. That sucks.
Yeah, that's ninja looting. I thought they got rid of that a while ago.
Yeah. If you have any other questions about the game, I will be in the chat, or I will answer them next episode. Elder Scrolls Online is one of those games I'm so curious about, and I feel like I should play it being like an Elder Scrolls person. Yeah. But I don't know. It just seems like a lot of time to contribute to something I'm not super excited about.
Yeah, I mean, my question is, how's it run on console? Like, I mean, control-wise, like, how's it feel? I've always felt like that was a weird thing, but it was also something I was always interested in is playing an MMORPG on a console. Like, how's communication and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, you gotta like that, Dan, that it's you can play pretty much the whole game, or if not all the whole game, by yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what I did in Guild Wars too, other than brief times I would group up with someone, but the very last mission to beat the storyline, you did have to group up with other people, but there's always other people like looking for a group specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yep.
I've always been a soloer in my MMORPGs, except when I, group up with friends to do something, whatever, screw around.
Just when all your friends log in and just to appease them, you play with them for a little bit, even though you don't really want to.
Like, oh, God damn it. No, and one of the cool things about, I don't want to bring up Guild Wars, but one of the cool things about it is even the world versus world, which you would think is just tailored towards big groups of people, you still can be effective on your own,
Mm-hmm.
And contribute to the battle. You can do supply runs, you can take down camps, you can disrupt the other side's supply lines. I used to do a lot of roaming, which is just when you're running around on your own, killing other solo players.
Yeah, you're a big jerk, Dan.
No, we would fight. I mean, it's not like I would gank them or anything. We would have a straight up duel. Yeah, I had one duel with I think it was an elementalist that lasted like 10 minutes.
Then did somebody come up behind you and kill you?
No, I got steamrolled by a Zerg of like 100 people. And they just killed me.
Bummer.
Yeah, it was a fun fight because I felt like I had the slight advantage, but we didn't get to finish our fight.
That sucks.
But anyway, love Guild Wars.
Yeah, did you see the airships and the world versus world stuff?
No.
Oh my God, Dan.
I'm gonna get just balls deep into that again when I start playing it again. That's why I haven't played it. I want to play other things right now.
Yeah. Will didn't talk about World of Warcraft. That kind of bugs me.
How dare you, Will?
What?
You didn't talk about World of Warcraft. I saw you were playing it.
Nobody cares. So, like, why talk about it if I'm going to be talking to myself?
If it was 10 years ago, we might care.
It's not that bad of a game.
Anyway.
Michael in Minnesota. Is this the last piece of feedback?
As far as I know.
Okay. He says, I just want to touch on a few things. I'm really excited about Pro Evo Soccer 2016. PES just has something about it that I love, something FIFA doesn't have. They both have their issues, but Pro Evo always seems just a step away from being incredible. FIFA just never seems to be as good as it should with all the money that is put into it. Most of it has to do with the fact that they never fix what they should. That seems to be the case with every EA Sports title, though. I too am sick of hearing about games years before they are released. Excuse me. It's one thing for a company to acknowledge that it's working on a game, but I hate these big reveals at E3 when we won't actually see the game for 3 years. Totally agree. And then number 3, Rocket League is easily one of my most anticipated games of the year, and it's almost here. So thanks for that, Mike.
You and Eric both.
Yeah, definitely. Eric's very excited for that one. I think you're going to get it on PS4 too, right? Mm-hmm. It's coming to PC. I'll probably pick it up at some point.
It's a fun game.
Yeah,
from what I've played.
Yeah.
Why is it that whenever Eric's not here, people talk about soccer?
I don't know.
It does seem that way.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Seem that way.
It's bad timing. We need him for that.
Yeah, because Ryan wanted him to fill us in on the Women's World Cup team.
Soccer.
Which I do want to know about. It just, I never come across it in my, I really only look on the internet for video game stuff.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come up in that, so I miss it. Missed it.
Yep.
Corey, your goal for next week, because Eric won't be here again, is to get all the soccer information. Pass? Okay.
Yeah, Mike, to go back to your second point, totally, and we talked about Final Fantasy. They just started working on Final Fantasy. That's not going to be out for another, probably at least 2 years, I would think. I think it's optimistic to think it'll come out next fall. I would rather not hear about it,
Well, that was probably for everybody to oh my god, blow their minds.
Yeah. Well, Sony didn't have anything else.
Exactly.
So they needed to have something like that,
Yeah, I think I think that makes for a good press conference though, to have an announcement like that.
I agree, and that's why Ubisoft, when they announced Watch Dogs, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that looks awesome," and then it comes out in 2.5 years and is average.
Yeah. The problem is once we start seeing gameplay, and gameplay that's not even really indicative of what the actual game's going to be like. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it's misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the Fallout route. 6 months. And the game's going to be out and ready to go.
Sure.
They even said today the game's pretty much finished at this point. So they'll have all this time to iron out kinks and bugs and all that stuff. So it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good guy Bethesda.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
It's probably a little easier for Bethesda to keep that stuff under wraps though.
What do you mean?
For that stuff not to leak out.
Oh. Why would it be easier for them than anyone else?
Probably, I think part of it is where they're located.
Maryland?
Yeah. That has something to do with it.
Why?
Because they're away from the scene.
That's true.
Yeah. They're not out in San Francisco or Austin, Texas, I think is another big game development hub. Seattle.
Canada.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of their own thing. And Bethesda, relative to the other publishers, I don't think is as massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
I don't know.
I hear you.
That probably plays into it a little bit. It's easier for them to have their reveal when they're ready for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And not just that, but there was a bunch of fake ones, too. I think that kind of helped
Oh, yeah.
distract people from maybe some real information that might have leaked out. People kind of knew the location.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yep.
But all the fake reveals,
Oh, man. There was one that was so believable, and everybody was so pumped.
Yeah. All right, Corey. Question of the week.
Question of the week. I actually have one. We didn't have one this past week. It's probably good because we're running long. But what is your victory song?
Oh, I like that.
Like at the end of a Final Fantasy battle, there's da 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 da.
Uh-huh.
What's your tune?
I like that. Okay. All right. Next week's episode, don't know the topic, but we're looking at Wednesday?
Yeah, if we can later at night, 8:30.
Yeah, if you want to do later at night on Wednesday, Corey.
Yeah, that gives me a little time to play something.
Yeah. We'll keep you posted on what the topic is going to be, but we'll probably figure out last minute like we always do.
Oh, yeah.
So, that'll do it for episode 205 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
I'm Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. Dunsky.
2 hours?
Oh, yeah.
2 hours.
Nah.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do.
Well, we had a shortened... We didn't get to talk about all the things we wanted to talk about last week.
No, you're
that
right.
was a 4-hour episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't talked about our guys' weekend.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe next week, huh?
Yeah. I'll forget by then.
All right.
I gotta move the car, Will.
Okay.
11:11, make a wish.
Whoops, wrong one.
I gotta go to bed. I went to bed at 2:30 last night and had to get up at 6.
I woke up at 4:30. Well, the daughter woke up and wanted a bottle, so I gave her a bottle and couldn't fall back asleep. So I came down here and played Invisible Ink.
Nice. All right, guys. I'll let you go.
Bye,
Toodles.
Corey.
Thanks for tuning in the chat.
Yeah, I hope to be able to stream tomorrow with the wife.
Yeah.